welcome back, and we're here at Pipeline Studios now talking to Angelica Lopez, and she's going to walk us through this amazing area of 2D and 3D animation, so thank you very much for having us here. Maybe you could just walk us through, as we've been walking through your offices, I noticed a lot of paraphernalia with surfing, so maybe the word pipeline has something to do with that, I'm sure.
Yes, it does. Pipeline comes from the beach out in Hawaii, out of Banzai. This is the beach where all of the top surfers actually go and experience and test their skills. And pipeline for us would be, this is where the best top of the artists come to do their craft.
What a great
where
name.
they're their best stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so here is where they excel, they challenge themselves, and they succeed, and that's where pipeline comes from.
Wow, that's a really good connection. So maybe you could just walk us through what each one of these departments actually do and what it is that we're supposed to be experiencing. So maybe you can walk us through it.
All right, so right off here on the first floor, we have our leads area. So here we have animation, and we have our lip sync and layout leads.
Okay.
On this first floor will be CG.
Okay.
So it will be Oh No, which we're working on right now, where we're working on Babar. We're finishing up Babar. This is where Bubble Guppies and all of our CG production leads always here.
Fantastic. I think a lot of people think that it's just one person kind of running the whole thing from start to finish, and obviously here we can see that it's many people doing many little parts and bringing it together, so that's great. Wow, what a team.
So now we have a terrific team of leads. All of them are responsible for their crew. We have an amazing crew, which are on the other side of this wall.
Right.
And we have a production manager that keeps everybody on target and on check, so everything works out.
Perfect.
All of the departments communicate.
Great. Well, what's the next section that we should be looking at here?
Wake up. So this will be the animators, CG animators. So right now some of them are finishing off on Babar, The Adventures of Badu, and then the other animators are working on Oh No, which is a new series that they're working on.
Wonderful.
It's actually pretty fun.
I noticed someone drawing over there, so we're still doing a lot of like hand drawing, or is this all part of the CGI aspect?
No, this is all CG, but she's also a 2D animator. Some of our animators are actually either just 2D or CG.
Right.
So she does a lot more drawing, but in CG they don't do that much drawing.
Wow.
In 2D they do more drawing.
Okay. All right. Excellent. That's great. So now everybody has their little part to do, and then it all gets fed somewhere. Is that what's happening?
Yes. So basically, at the beginning of an episode, the leads will break out the sequence or the scenes or the frames. It depends whether they're working on CG or 2D.
Right.
And once that they break out, they divide all of the scenes into their crew.
Okay.
So each person is assigned a particular sequence. Then they'll work on it. It all gets fed through the server. Everything gets composited, and it goes through the departments.
Okay.
Right? Because it's you go through layout, then you go lip sync, then you go animation, then you go lighting. So everything comes together.
Right. Is there a storyline that you start off with first and then move throughout the storyline, or is there audio that's done in parts so that you know where all the parts are done?
Well, it all starts, of course, the story, and then it all gets recorded.
Right.
And then storyboards also is the first thing to do, because that plans out the whole episode and the whole series, really.
Sure.
Then layout starts working, and based out of the storyboards. Lip sync is based out of the recordings that is done. And then the animators just go and follow through the storyboard and
I see. Because I've often wondered, is the audio done ahead of time and then the animation is attached to that?
Yeah.
Interesting, because I always thought it was kind of done the opposite way, where you have all this animation and then someone's actually trying to put the voiceovers in. I'm sure some of that gets fed in, but yeah, that's very interesting.
Sometimes I do changes a little bit further ahead, but that causes a lot of issues, because you cannot change the audio after the animation and the lip sync, otherwise it won't match. It depends what they do, but no. Audio comes first.
Yeah. Is it difficult to find somebody to do the audio properly? Like, do they have to be almost actors themselves, even though they don't see, the finished product, but they have to pretend that that's happening to get excited in their certain scenes?
It has to have. They have to be actors. Really.
Wow.
The actra.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the voice actors. So no, all of them are professional actors, really.
Wow, that's amazing.
I have heard stories about in certain movies that actually people that were in the crew,
right,
they started playing with their voices and they actually got hired to do
really
the
wow
voice-overs.
Like a Harrison Ford thing. He was a carpenter on set,
yeah.
and then he ended up being an actor. So
yes.
that's a great symbol.
But it doesn't happen that often, I don't think.
Well, yeah, I think it's rare. So
yes.
That's excellent. Well, that's great. So maybe we could walk through the next part.
Sure. So here we have a little
I love the motif.
kitchen area.
Yeah,
yes,
look
well,
at this.
Here we go.
Everything has that
the
surfer
pipeline,
theme,
so
doesn't it?
Yes, we do.
That's great. Now, I know you have multiple levels of this
yes.
location, and there's other things happening on other floors, so
yes.
maybe we'll just take a look at
We'll
that.
just go upstairs?
Yeah, you bet. All right. What do we have here?
Here we have more of our layout team. They're working in Ono right now.
Right, right.
So
now, so this team, what do they do in the layout? It looks like this is almost a half-finished product. It looks a lot more in depth than what they were working on downstairs.
well, in the layout, they will take if you see, they'll take the storyboards.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And they'll plan out the scene for the animators to get into and find all of the materials and reference that they're going to need in order to animate and do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
So they work and make sure that the camera angles are set and all of the props and characters that need to be there in specific areas, they will be there.
Sure, sure. Who actually does the storyboard layout? I notice they're hand-drawn.
Yes, it's a storyboard artist, and that it is hand-drawn. They use Toon Boom Harmony.
Right.
So it's digital.
Okay.
And they do the whole storyboard for
wow.
the whole entire series.
That's phenomenal. So now how many people actually do this particular job? Like, are you looking at just what we see here, or is there many other people working on this?
No, we have a team of 4 plus a lead
okay.
for our layout team for this particular series. There's a series that requires a larger team.
Sure,
so it just depends. No production is ever the same.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure it's very unique
yes.
depending on what
yes.
it is that you're doing.
Exactly.
Great. And it looks like there's even more people over here working away.
That's from the other studio.
Okay.
Right now we're leasing this part to Hamana Animation.
Wonderful.
So they're just working on bubble cups.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting, interesting. Okay. So where are we going next? I
now
know there's
we're gonna go
even more
way.
levels.
Yes. Right now it's a little bit quiet.
Okay.
We just finished our Bubble Guppy crew, just finished on Friday.
Right.
This is where they were sitting down. This was the animators for Bubble Guppies.
Oh, okay.
Downstairs is the animators for Ono and Babar. Here it was Bubble Guppies. But they're in a very well-deserved break.
Yeah, very well-deserved break.
Yes.
And I notice all these big tablets here, so it looks like they're doing a lot of hand drawing in this.
Well, Bubble Guppies was a hybrid production. It had 2D elements as well as CG.
Oh, okay.
So it was mainly a CG production, a 3D, but it did have some 2D in it. So we had animators that were 2D, 3D animators. They used the tablets to do the 2D part of it.
Okay, yeah, well, that's interesting. It's almost like the original cells that they would work on. You would go to Walt Disney and see everybody
yes.
painting cells. Well, this is very similar. It's digital cell,
yes.
really.
Yes, it is.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
It took them a little bit to cross over to the new way of doing in digital. But if they made a mistake, it's easier than just go over the entire cell.
Exactly, exactly.
But,
is there an even split between 2D and 3D animators here, or do you find one more, heavier than the other? Because a lot of people want to get into 3D because they think it's, this awesome entity, which it is. But at the same time, 2D, is really important, especially in these types of productions.